Red time. Morocco say yes, Morocco say yes. Red time. Red time.
Hi, welcome to Bad Music Taste and Other Ways to Ruin Your Life. My name is Dominic.
And my name is Sam. Dominic has a record this week.
This week's record is Inside My Brain by the Angry Samoans. This record was first released in 1980, and the copy I have here is a limited pressing on red vinyl. Anyways, today we're talking to Keith Morris of Black Flag, The Circle Jerks, and Off. How's it going, Keith?
I'm doing pretty good. My day's kind of hectic because I actually have a rehearsal in about an hour and a half. So I guess we'll talk for about an hour or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm stoked to see the Circle Jerks next May. Fingers crossed. How are shows looking for like 2021, 2022?
Well, I just recently read that the venues are going to be open soon once this vaccination thing continues and we get more people vaccinated. And I read that the venues would be open to 75% of their capacity.
Yeah.
And 75% of their capacity also has to include people that are vaccinated. So I have the feeling there's going to be a few anti-vaxxers and anti-maskers out there who are going to be upset about this, probably. You know, it's like there are a bunch of us who are doing everything. Granted, we're doing what we're being told to do, which is not a punk rock thing. Punk rock's anarchy and fuck you, and you don't tell me what to do. There's certain rules, you know. You don't run through a red light. You don't get in your car and not buckle yourself in. You know, you don't wear your seat belts. If you're jumping out of a plane, you don't jump out of a plane without a parachute. I think they might have developed an immediate test, like you get tested and it immediately tells you if you've got the plague or you're plague ridden. And I heard that the test is $250, which is kind of an expensive deal. But
Yeah.
the thing with the venues is they're going to also have to carry COVID insurance.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be cheap. You know, the venues already carry insurance. Say if it's a punk rock gig and that dude decides that he's going to leap off the stage and the area where all the people are supposed to put their arms up and prevent him or her from hitting the floor, all of a sudden parts like the Red Sea. And I have witnessed this on several occasions, and it's not something that you would want to happen to yourself.
Yeah, I've seen it like airports. They have like COVID sniffing dogs, and they have like 5 people like wipe under their arms, and then they have the dogs like sniff which person has COVID. Like they put the like wipes into this bag, and then the dogs are able to like smell who has COVID.
Well, they have drug sniffing dogs. Why can't they have COVID sniffing dogs?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I agree. There'll definitely be those few people that are going to want to be attending shows just as much, but still won't understand the guidelines. I think that'll be a real difficulty as far as shows opening back up.
I don't think that the promoters will have a hard time with it because that's why you have security. That's why you have bouncers. Yeah. You know, it's like when you go inside, there's certain rules. When you're in a crowd, you don't get to like yell fire. and get everybody in a panic. So I guess we just have to wait and see how it all plays out.
Yeah, because there are like places that have no stage diving rules, no crowd surfing rules. If they can have those rules, then they can have like 6 feet apart rules and mask rules, and
That's not going to work. No, the mask could work, and there are going to be people that show up that will have no problem wearing a mask because they're used to it. You know, there's some of us. I'm going to be 66 years old in September, and I am a diabetic. I have a compromised immune system, and I love crowds, but at the same time, I hate crowds. You know, all it takes is for a handful of people in the crowd to make the whole experience a complete bummer. You know, and nobody wants that. But there are people that actually go out of their way to make things difficult for other people around them. Like, you're not going to tell me what to do. I have my rights. I'm an American citizen. I'm a patriot, and I practice freedom.
yeah, like some people are in the building at our school now. I didn't go back just because I was nervous that there were going to be like assholes in the hallways that like pull their mask down and like cough on people as a joke, and because just there are some douchebags that I know would like think it's funny to cough on people.
Yeah.
So
They're out there. Unfortunately, the world is there's a whole army of these type of people. I'm being clever. I'm making these people uncomfortable.
Yeah, like,
I'm being an asshole. Yeah.
Yeah, like what's fun in that?
Well, you'd be surprised at some of the mentality of these people. You know, we could probably talk for about 3 or 4 days about this, but obviously we don't have that kind of time. And I'm sure you have I'm sure you have a list of questions. I know you have a list of at least 20 questions you want to ask me.
Kind of on the topic of like the Circle Jerks reunion, how did it feel like as the process, like when you were on the inside? Did you ever feel pressured because of like fans talking about it, or?
Well, there's always going to be the detractors. We actually have quite a few people that show up on one of our pages that are right-wing, almost white supremacists, and I would like to get in a banter with them, but I think I would lose it and end up saying some stuff that I shouldn't really say. So rather than get in it with them, I just avoid them. I think that's kind of a good way of skirting the issue. As for the band itself, we've rehearsed, I think we've probably rehearsed about 10 times. See, we have to get in shape because we're all older guys. We've just had a year off, and we had how many years before that since we last played as a band? Probably, 8 years. So it's been about 9 years since we played these songs. So it's not like I sit around all day listening to the Circle Jerks, because they are my favorite band. And all of those songs, they're the greatest songs anybody has ever recorded. So I just need to sit around. Actually, what I should do is I should just lay a blanket out on my living room floor and just lay and rub myself and pretend I'm taking a bath and I'm soaking in all of this just great genius music. I don't think that way. I don't like listening to songs that I've recorded unless I have to learn them.
I've been watching a lot of old new wave theater on YouTube, and do you think that it helped like get West Coast punk noticed nationally? And do you think it
Okay.
was maybe shine? Do you think they shined a positive light on West Coast punk?
Well, that was a fun show, and all of the bands were great bands. The host was a complete freak, which made total sense. But we also earlier had a documentary made by Penelope Spheris called The Decline of Western Civilization. Now that, I believe, played an even bigger role, because that was at a time when the only information that you would get about any of the bands here on the West Coast, here in Los Angeles, here in Southern California, was through fanzines. There was, like, how are you going to watch a video back then?
Yeah.
You know, how are you going to, maybe you would read the live review,
Yeah.
say in a fanzine like Big Takeover or Flipside or Slash Magazine, or you know, there was the oh geez, the New York Rocker, I think it was, or the Boston Rocker. You know, a lot of the major cities had kind of a connection to all the other major cities, but all of the smaller places, they were just kind of, all of the kids out in the suburbs were just kind of left on their own. So I reckon that to, I had read a story, I think I had read an interview with Kurt Cobain, where he was living in some really podunk, middle of the road, out there beyond the woods, little tiny town in northern Washington, where there was no record store, and he wanted to buy records.
Yeah.
So the only place he could go to purchase records was to Walmart, you know, which I'm not going to Walmart to purchase records when I could go up the street to Amoeba. But for somebody that lives in a town like that and has to drive 20 miles to the Walmart, that's their only resource.
Yeah.
So the analogy here is Kurt Cobain had to drive 20 miles to buy records at Walmart. All these kids very early on had no access to any kind of information except fanzines.
Yeah, and I mean, you think about it now, like he had to drive 20 miles to get some probably like top 50 record if it was at Walmart. And now there's everything just here.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't own one of those.
But that's just, or just like on a computer or just anywhere. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, it all kind of turned digital so quickly. And it's like
Yeah.
you can get everything online you can get that way. It's really weird.
Yeah, people don't even go to libraries anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, because again, like everything's on here. People don't see the points.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you can rent and read the book online, people are like, why go pick it up, you know?
Still, like opening the pages to a book is so much better than scrolling on your phone and reading a book.
Well, let's talk about the 12-inch record. You get to hold the record sleeve in your hand, and you get to see who you're listening to, and then you flip it over and there's the list of all of the songs, and each song says who wrote it and which guy in the band did this and who plays what and all of that fun stuff, where it was recorded, when it was recorded.
Yeah.
who recorded it, and it's fun to have all of that information. You
Yeah.
don't get that when you're listening to something on iTunes or Spotify.
Yeah,
You
like
get the name of the artist and maybe some little photo in a circle that pops
Yeah.
up along with it.
Yeah, it's nice just to be able to hold the physical copy of it, because you can like see and feel exactly what you're doing.
Yeah,
And I
when
think
you-
it just
when you have the record, you can read the lyrics. Then you can see the people who made the music. You can read who produced it and everything like that.
Right.
But, yeah, when you listen to it on Spotify, you get the names of the song, what the record cover looks like, and that's it.
Do they tell you how much they're charging you to stream it?
I don't know how much it
They
is
say a
for
monthly fee or a weekly fee or whatever it is.
yeah,
I don't
something.
know. I have a Spotify account, but I never use it. I don't know how to use it because I'm, like I said, I've got two left hands. So, and when it comes to the computer, I've got a left hand and a left foot.
But yeah, and then, even a Spotify account isn't necessary, because then there's YouTube. Then you can find everything on YouTube.
Well,
YouTube might actually have more stuff.
YouTube's fantastic, but the problem with YouTube, there's a lot of people that would rather sit at home and watch a band live on YouTube than actually going out and being part of some adventure where you're going to have to walk across the parking lot and you're going to experience people smoking and drinking and telling jokes and conversing and having a good time. And then you go in the venue and it's hot and it's sweaty and there's a certain energy, there's a certain vibe, there's a buzz, and it's like right in your
Yeah, like
face.
that. You can't get a digital version of what you're experiencing at a show.
It's not even comparable. Like,
Yeah.
'cause the thing is, for me, like, you can go to a show and like you can record a little bit to look back on it, but now even when you're at shows, you'll see people just like recording the whole thing, just to upload later.
Because like with records, maybe you can make the argument that they take up space, but with shows, like you can't replicate that.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you're surrounded by like-minded people.
Yeah.
Right.
And there is a certain energy.
Yeah.
You're with people, you're with like-minded people, and you can't replicate that.
Yeah.
The Circle Jerks, I believe we've been asked, I want to say about half a dozen times, to get in a room and play a concert. And then what we'll do is we'll stream it and we'll charge everybody $5 or whatever they're going to pay to do it. And I said, I'm not doing that unless we're in a room that is filled with people. I'm not going to do that because
Yeah.
the energy is wrong.
Yeah, and I mean, like, sometimes I like to watch a show on YouTube, but I'm not doing that to replace going to a show.
Right, because they're not even comparable at that point. I don't think there's like common ground there that you can say they're similar to each other.
Yeah, because then the band is standing right in front of you. These people that you've listened to for so long are standing right in front of you. The lights go out, and then they're playing these songs. And then you have all these people around you singing the same lyrics that you're singing. Watching the decline of Western civilization on my phone, going like this, and that's it. So,
well, the decline of Western civilization is a really great representation of what was going on in Los Angeles at that time, in Southern California.
Yeah.
Fear, X, The Germs, Alice Bag, Catholic Discipline.
I watched that documentary for the first time like a year or two ago. It's great. It's great.
Did I say X? I just said X.
Yeah.
Yes, they're great in it.
Me, myself, being a drummer, I found it interesting. I heard a while ago, I think it might have been in your book. I might have seen it on an interview. You were the original Black Flag drummer.
But I didn't have a drum kit.
Oh, I was going to say, do you still play the drums at all?
And I was cut off way before it was time for me to set up a drum kit in a room to play along with Greg Ginn. What had happened was I was going to buy a drum kit from one of my friends, and as it turns out, the guy that I was going to buy the drum kit from had stolen it from one of my other friends. And I came to the realization that if I'm going to play drums, I'm certainly not going to be playing drums on that kit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to get caught up in get caught up in this battle between a couple of my friends. So anyways, before I purchased a drum kit, we were in the SST workspace on a Saturday afternoon. And at this time, SST wasn't, there were no records. There was no music.
Solid state tuners at this point.
Yes. And everybody was sitting around drinking and smoking and soldering wires and stuff like that. And the radio up on the shelf was tuned to K-Rock, and Iggy and the Stooges' Search and Destroy came on. Just started blasting out of the speaker. I freaked out and I jumped up on a desk and did a triple flip through the air and landed on my face and jumped up and ran across the couch and leaped off the couch and was covered in dirt because we never swept the floor. And I was screaming and yelling the lyrics. And by the time the song was over, Greg Ginn looked at me and he said, "You're not playing drums in the band. You're the vocalist."
So just to switch it up a little bit, last year you did a cover of Sweet Transvestite from Rocky Horror Picture Show with TSOL. So were you a fan of this production before they reached out to you, or?
Jack Grisham reached out to me. I love Jack Grisham. Jack Grisham is one of my heroes, one of my modern heroes. I've seen him. I've seen a really great change in him. Very early on in the punk rock scene, he would be seen as a thug and a guy that would push his weight around and do a bunch of really stupid, crazy things. And as he's grown into adulthood, he has become more responsible. And because of this, I believe he's become a better human being. Like, he is certainly one that you would want to be a part of your scene. He's somebody that you would want to be able to call your friend. He reached out to me. He said, "Keith, we're doing a cover of Sweet Transvestite from the Rocky Horror Picture Show," which I have never seen in its entirety. You know, from start to finish, I've not seen the entire movie. I've only seen bits and pieces. And he said, we have a bit for you, and we're recording over at our friend Paul Rossler's studio. Paul was the keyboard player in one of the amazing LA. I would blame them for bands like Nine Inch Nails, a lot of the industrial bands. They were called the Screamers. And I believe somebody is actually releasing their bootlegs. They never put any of their music out. It's always been like somebody swiped a cassette tape off of a table and turned it into vinyl. But they have never released music on their own. with their approval. And there are three of them. There are three surviving members. Tomato is no longer with us, R.I.P. Tomato was the front man. He was a freak, but he was like the nicest guy that you would ever meet. Anyways, Paul Rostra has a studio. Jack Grisham calls me, said, here are your lines, and it's spoken word, but there's a certain phrasing to the spoken word. So I think I got it on the first take. They had me do like 3 takes, but the first take was the best one. And it was just, it was fun. And I love TSOL. And there might be a possibility that TSOL will be doing some of the Circle Jerks US tour when we get ready to go out and do our tour.
Oh,
okay.
wow. Yeah, I've never seen Rocky Horror Picture Show either, but I know that's one of Sam's favorite movies.
Yeah, so I was like, that song, that's cool.
Sam, you should make Dominic watch that movie.
Thank you. I've been trying to get someone to agree with me. I'm gonna make him watch it.
I just one of Sam's favorite shows is Criminal Minds, and I just started watching Criminal Minds.
The true crime stuff is entertaining to me.
Well, I don't really watch TV, so I just watch movies and documentaries. And I actually I have a difficult time reading because I find myself constantly being in lyric writing mode, and a great source of lyrics can sometimes be like a couple of words in a sentence in a story. You know, I love trying to read the Los Angeles Times whenever it's possible, whenever I have the opportunity, and I normally find myself not being able to go through the entire paper. I normally find myself getting snagged. I always start with the sports section because I'm a sports fan. But I went through a situation where I was dating somebody I shouldn't have been dating. And I started reading deeper into this, whatever kind of relationship you want to call it. All she was doing was just telling me stories, and I was trying to discern, well, is that story the truth, or is that story something that she's fabricated? Starting all the way back to her age and what she did, and what her parents did to her, and all of the abuse, and her sister's heroin habit, and all of these different things. And it was just like, well, it was interesting, and it was fun for a while, but ultimately I realized that I had gone somewhere that I shouldn't have gone, and I placed more worth on it than I should have. And ultimately the situation was, why should I go out with somebody that's lying to me all the time? And because it's a love-hate relationship. There was no hate in the beginning. Even at the end, it was just a little bit, sprinkle a little bit of hatred on there, but not enough to want to kill anybody or ram somebody's car, or drive your car off the end of a pier. The situation when you're in love is you're a winner, and when it's not going right, you're a loser. And what better place to go to than the sports page, because that's all that is. And all of a sudden, one of the writers is talking about the LA Clippers and they should have done this and it could have been that. And, all they had to do was instead of putting that guy in, they could have put that guy in. Or why did they leave him in so long? And all of a sudden, like in the LA Dodgers, one of the closing pitchers is all of a sudden pitching fastballs that the guys are hitting out of the park. So I always use sports analogies, and I said, what better place, if you're describing love, what better place to go than the sports section in the LA Times?
Yeah, I know you just said that you don't watch TV. Do you watch sports, or do you just read about it in the LA Times?
Well, it's real easy to conduct an interview with a couple of gals. Now, I don't know where you're at, but I'm sitting on my couch in my living room in Los Feliz, in the what I would call the lowlands of Los Feliz. We have hills. We have hills about 5 blocks from here, where all of the rock stars and what's her name, the gal from No Doubt lives up there, and Jack Black lives over on Los Feliz Boulevard, and the guys from System of a Down, because we're real close to Little Armenia, so they're over here somewhere. I don't know them. I live in what would be considered the white ghetto of Los Feliz, which is the flatlands. But I'm sitting here in my living room, sitting on my couch. I'm looking at you gals on the computer, but I have the NFL channel going on the TV, but you can't hear it because I turned the volume off. Now, I could turn the volume up and you could hear what they're talking about, but I have a bunch of stuff that I'm doing. So it's, well, when I get to talking with Dominic and Samantha, I'm going to go back to watching the NFL channel. I watch maybe half an hour, even though it's on the TV right now, and I could look up and I could watch it and pretend that I'm looking at you with my eyes coming down like this, and that's rude, and that's not the right thing to do. So I'm looking at you now.
Well, Keith, I just want to say thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you for your time. Now, I thought you had a whole list. I thought you had 200 questions you were going to ask me. Like my favorite color, and if I'm going to Old Navy, am I buying boxers, or am I buying the banana hammock? What else is there? Who's your favorite band? What's your favorite color? Who's your favorite actress? Do you believe in flying saucers? Let's see what else is there. What was the last surgery you had performed on you? How you doing with your diabetes? You didn't even tell me when I told you I'm in Los Feliz, which is just Los Angeles or East Hollywood. You haven't told me where you're at. I know that you're both at home. You're in your bedroom, Dominic. You're in your bedroom, right?
Yeah.
Unless you own your own home. Unless you own your own home and you have a study. That could be a study or a library. You can't see the walls of books. Samantha, you look like your mom's mad at you, and she said, just go sit over in the corner. Just go over there and sit next to the door. Or she said, no, go sit by the door because the postman's going to be here pretty soon. We might have a letter for you.
I'm in my office. It is kind of tiny, though. You only get the door. But for the record, we are both from Baltimore, Maryland.
Yes.
Okay.
really quick, what is your favorite color?
Yeah, you got us curious now. Green, red, purple.
Oh, I have because I'm sometimes I'm an artist. I have a bunch of colors that are my favorite colors. I like fuchsia. I like turquoise, orange. I had an orange with dinner last night, like just a nice big orange, and that was beautiful, and it was sweet. And I like bananas. They're yellow. The skin is yellow, but you don't eat them when the skin is yellow. You eat them when the yellow skin starts developing all of the brown dots and spots on it.
Yeah, that's pretty much
That's
the
how you
best.
fight cancer.
Yeah, here we go. Now we have all these questions right here. When is a banana the most tasty?
Yeah, there you go.
But
The healthiest way to eat a banana, and when it's at its tastiest, is when there's a scoop of strawberry ice cream, chocolate ice cream, and vanilla ice cream with whipped cream, chopped peanuts, and a cherry.
All right, well now I got a
Little
question.
spread.
Are you the type of person who eats the apple with the skin on it, or do you get the slices without the skin on it?
No, got to eat the skin for the roughage.
Yeah.
Helps clean the fries.
yeah, mashed potatoes. Do you eat mashed potatoes with skin or without the skin?
I think mashed potatoes are better with the skin. But most people, when you eat mashed potatoes, there's no skin involved.
I don't eat mashed potatoes.
Do you load the potato? Do you put like bacon and cheese on it, or do you just keep
No
it
bacon. I'm Jewish. I don't eat pork. Got to stay away from pork. Otherwise, all my other Jewish relatives will come over and tie me behind the car and drag me down the street.
What's your favorite animal?
I like elephants, and I like, oh geez, there are actually some really cool dogs in the neighborhood. My friend has a really cool dog. Its name is Penguin, and I love penguins, so I love Penguin. Oh, what else? Giraffes, zebras, koala bears, little
Koalas.
cuddly koala bears.
I like koala bears too.
Yeah,
Piglet.
and then
How
what's your
about
favorite meal?
Favorite meal? Well, I like Mexican food. I love cheeseburgers, but that would be a turkey burger with cheese, not beef.
Yeah.
But I'll eat beef every now and then because I'm an omnivore. I don't eat just vegetables. But you know, there's a really great dietary situation, and that is if you're not a vegetarian or a vegan and you eat meat, it's good to eat a vegetarian meal like
Like once
3
or
or 4
twice a week.
times a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
I feel like I could never go like vegetarian or vegan just because I like fish so much, but I feel like I could go pescatarian. I'm pretty sure pescatarian is where you still eat fish.
Yes, but
Yeah.
fish is a good source of fish oil, which is good for your brain and it's good for your heart.
Yeah, like people just take fish oil supplements.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying go to the McDonald's and get a filet of fish. That
That's
doesn't
not
work.
fish.
Then that's
not
like
real
covered
fish.
in grease then, and
Yeah.
That's
it's healthy because it's fish.
that's filet of sponge.
I got apple slices with my fillet of fish. It's okay.
Wait, on the topic of that, what's like your favorite like fast food restaurant if you had to eat at one?
I avoid fast food like the plague.
Yeah.
But I do and will eat. We have a burger chain out here, drive-through burger chain called In and Out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they make a good cheeseburger, and their fries are fairly crunchy. And
I've heard good things. About
Yeah,
it.
we live on the East Coast. I've never been to it. Is it just a California thing or is it a West Coast thing?
no, I believe it's just a California thing.
Yeah, the farthest I've been to Seattle, but I've never been to California. I've never tried In-N-Out. We live in Baltimore, so nothing like that.
So what do you have for what's your fast food chain in Baltimore? Not White Castle.
Oh god. It's not a fast food chain, but Johnny Rad's oh my god, Johnny Rad's is great. They make like really thin crust pizza. They have these skateboards all over the wall. It's
Yeah.
great.
Can you get a salad with your pizza?
Yeah, they have like vegetarian stuff. They have vegan stuff. They have like a vegan chili. But they make the best pizza. They were on like Diners, Drive-ins, and Dives a few years ago. Oh, they're
Yeah.
great. They're great. Their
Okay.
their logo, it like they have this big sign out front and it says Johnny Rad's and it's the 4 bars. It's the 4 bars.
Okay. Okay.
So if you're ever in Baltimore,
Yeah,
Don't
check
tell
it out.
Greg in that. His lawyer will sue them.
oh no, we keep that down.
I have to excuse myself because I actually I have some stuff that I have to do.
Okay.
Well, it was very nice talking to you. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Of course.
All right.
Have a
Bye.
good rest of your day.
You too.
Cheers.